Episode 1 of Squid Game Season 2 opens with Ji-hun at the airport. The front man warns that he has nowhere to go and that he'll regret his decision, but Ji-hun is determined. He quickly races to Seoul, picking up a blade along the way. It is later revealed that a tracker had been implanted in the back of his ear, which explains how the front man knew he wasn't leaving. Meanwhile, Detective Jun-ho, who had been searching for his missing brother, is actually alive. He was rescued from the coastline by a boat captain, with whom he has since formed a partnership to track down the island. So far, his search has yielded no results. As he wakes up in a hospital, he whispers the name of his brother, In-ho. 2 years later, Jun-ho is still working, having recently left the Major Crimes Division. Unfortunately, all the evidence he gathered during his investigation into the Squid Game and its VIPs is now gone. His phone is missing, and there is no trace of the game. If Jun-ho wants to take down his brother, he may have to return to the game once again. Meanwhile, Ji-hun is holed up in a motel. He is paranoid and plagued by nightmares from his experiences in the game. Desperate to find the recruiter who brought him into the game, he hires a gangster named Mr. Kim and his associate Woo-suk to scour the subway for any sign of him. Despite the 2 years that have passed, there has been no trace of the recruiter. Ji-hun, not willing to give up, decides to expand the search. Offering a huge reward of 1 billion won, he funds a large operation to find the recruiter. Eventually, Mr. Kim and Woo-suk catch a break when they spot the recruiter at a subway station playing dokji. They follow him to a homeless park where the recruiter forces people to choose between a bread roll or a lottery ticket, destroying the remaining rolls in front of those who choose the ticket. Ji-hun, meanwhile, is pulled over by traffic cops on his way to the station. One of the officers turns out to be Jun-ho, who recognizes Ji-hun from the games. Jun-ho soon finds Ji-hun's motel and begins to investigate. Ji-hun reaches the subway station, only to find Mr. Kim and Woo-suk knocked out in an alleyway. The recruiter has tied them up and is holding them hostage. He forces them to play a sadistic game of rock, paper, scissors, and the loser must play Russian roulette. Mr. Kim ends up dying as a result of the game. Woo-suk, fearing for his life, reveals everything to the recruiter, leading him to Ji-hun's motel. Ji-hun confronts the recruiter and expresses his anger and pain over what the games put him through. The recruiter, however, shares his own tragic story. He had been faced with an impossible choice between his family and his job, ultimately having to kill his own father. Ji-hun remains unsympathetic, bitterly recounting the horrors of the games. The recruiter smirks, proposing that they play a game of Russian roulette to settle their differences. Unbeknownst to them, Jun-ho is outside, watching. The game proceeds, and in the end, the recruiter loses. With a smirk on his face, he shoots himself. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for more exciting content. We've got amazing recaps and much more coming your way, so make sure you're a part of our journey.